Hello.
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 Let's go!
Hey, kids.
Hey, Dad.
War crimes will be prosecuted.
Let's have a Liberty City burn it to the ground.
Does the word duh mean anything to you?
Yeah, I chose this profession, so therefore I earned beer.
You want to go to the matinee?
The feeling is definitely there.
You don't know my name!
It's a new morning in America.
This is the old dude, Howard J. Reynolds.
Step into my office.
Not going to be too many punks.
John, would you stop worrying about the punk?
You! That's my name!
Yeah, let's go to the punk rock show.
Introducing for your listening pleasure.
Here it is. Here we go. High Fives Podcast, episode 94. Michael.
Nathan, welcome back.
Yeah, thanks, man. It's been a minute.
Yeah.
A while. I feel like a while. I don't know how long, but a while.
You're all recovered now?
Yeah, I think recovered is a good word for it. Our house got hit with COVID ×2
Fun
for
time.
the second time. Yeah, it's great. It's great, especially when you start to feel better and then somebody else starts to feel worse.
Not similar, but I got sick not long after I finished that last episode, and then I ended up missing a couple shows that I promised people I'd go see. And I had a legit excuse because I was sick this time.
But like, because you're the boy who cried wolf, no one's really
I know no one's
sure.
going to believe me, but I was sick.
No. You're the boy who cried sick.
I didn't even
right?
text them and be like, I'm not coming because I'm sick, because I just didn't want to deal with, sure, you're sick. Thanks, Mike. I'm supposed to go to a show tomorrow or on Wednesday too. Nah, we'll see. Hopefully I don't
You're
get sick.
supposed to?
Yes.
What's the show?
Meds.
Oh, right on. Meds with the Bonspieler.
Bonspiels? It's an all curling pop punk band.
Yeah. Is that the theme? Like they just sing about curling?
I think so.
Amazing. That could be good.
Yeah.
I don't think we should just brush over the fact that you saved the day. You saved the day, and in between being sick and not being sick and not going to shows for being sick and not being sick. But you did an episode in there, Mike. You did a solo.
Yeah, it was daunting. I didn't have a lot of fun. And thankfully you helped pick some of those songs, so that helped. So it wasn't
sure did.
all me.
No, it wasn't all you, but you created an episode out of scraps, let's say.
And the editing sounded like it was scraps. That's what happens when you don't get Nate.
We're not all blessed with the magic touch, Mike.
No.
We're not all blessed. But you saved the day with a mixtape episode that I thoroughly enjoyed. I even reached out to you and said, hey, Mike, can you post the track listing? Because I really enjoyed that. I was like, I don't know if you knew you could do this, but I had my phone going on, like playing in my car while I was listening to it. And I was like, oh, what's this song? Because like there were no songs. No one told you what songs they were. You just had to sit back and enjoy without knowing. Well, I clicked on Shazam while my phone was playing the song, and it kind of glitched for a minute like, whoa, what do you think you're doing? And I used it. I Shazammed it while I was playing the songs.
I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, now you know.
That's pretty cool. I don't think you could do that before. Maybe you could. Maybe I'm just not that tech savvy.
Technology, it's a crazy thing, Mike. So without further ado, what's this episode? It's the top 5 songs for fall.
Yeah.
It's the last one of the first season. There might have been one more, but we're going to skip it. We're not going to do it. Okay? So this is the last one. And for all the fans that were really hoping that the starting a new episode would be redone, that was actually a season 2. That was the start of season 2. So
you've been teasing it all year.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I think it's up there, isn't it? Isn't it available? Or did you start at 12?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either. It doesn't matter. We're not doing it. Songs for fall. Mike was a little bit worried. I feel like I should tell the people you were a little bit worried about doing this episode. You thought maybe let's do the one we're dropping, which I won't tell you what it is because we're not going to do it. But despite having our first big dump of snow, which, I get, that's a signal, right? Signal that fall, at least in Calgary, is over. And then we had like at least a week that was below -10s. Beyond that, it's been pretty nice. Like it is remained
abnormally
fall.
nice.
Yeah.
I had a barbecue today.
Well, you can barbecue in the winter, Mike.
I'm not a barbecue in the winter kind of guy.
Are you even Canadian?
No.
Touche.
I'm a transplant.
You couldn't have said that any better. I'd say we're still very much in autumn. Would you agree, Mike?
I would say for one of the few times in my life that we are still very autumn after Remembrance Day.
All right, good. So not to worry, Mike. This podcast still applies. No, I didn't fluke out. I knew this was coming. This was all planned. It was very intentional. Also, I think it's important to state the technical fact that autumn actually goes to December 21st. Now, I know, Mike, I can hear your mind at work. Where in the Northern Hemisphere is it not winter before December 21st? December 21st seems like an absolutely absurd date for the start of winter. Like we're already usually 2 months into winter by that point.
Yeah. It's a long, depressing time.
Yeah. But not this time, Mike. Not this time.
No. Do you have like a fall feel for music? Is there like a genre or something that hits hard during fall for you?
Yeah, I think like the emo bands hit a little harder. I think like the pop punk bands hit a little harder.
Yeah, you're not listening to too much ska.
No.
Not a lot of reggae.
I mean, on the bright sunny days, maybe, right? Like
you gotta cheer yourself up.
Yeah. I was looking back at the list the first time around and I was like, I don't even know that I'd pick any of these songs this time. Strange, right? Strange what 9 years can do.
It is a little strange. Some of them I thought you might go with, but
did you?
Wasn't sure.
I don't know. This, like I say, this fall has been weird. It's been very weird. It's weird to be out and about with like no snow on the ground. You're just in like a sweater and like all the things at the coffee shop are Christmas and all the things at the stores are Christmas.
So I was thinking this today. I was like, is this what fall is like for a lot of people? Because like I always hear how much people love fall and they're like, they have this idealistic thing about fall. And I'm like, yeah, sure. Maybe at the end of September when you're just wearing a hoodie out at night and you're like, yeah, it's not too bad. I had to put a hoodie on tonight. Maybe I had to wear a jacket, a light one. But like fall for me, it is like, as soon as there's a little bit of snow and then like when you're going to work, it's dark. And when you're coming home, it's dark. That's like when I'm out for fall. I'm like, no matter how much fun pumpkin stuff seems at Starbucks or wherever you are, it's not worth it. Or how good like taking pictures with leaves are for people. Fall fucking sucks, man. I hate it. It makes me so like grumpy and sad.
So you don't even like the autumnal beverages, Mike?
No.
Those don't even put a smile on your face?
No, it's like, but I will say the one thing is the music, because specifically Midwest emo like really hits hard during fall. Like it just feels perfect, or like it feels like a good time to listen to like sad, sappy stuff or like folk and things like that. And like that stuff doesn't really jive when you're like wanting to sit outside in the sun too often. Sometimes it does, but it's not the same. It's perfect for this weather.
I haven't been listening to a lot of fall music lately. I have been listening to a ton of stuff, but not so much of the fall vein. Would you like me to tell you about some of the things I've been listening to, Mike?
Dude, that was one hell of a segue.
Right?
94 episodes, and that might be one of the best.
My first offering tonight, Michael, is something we were talking about just today. You reached out and you said, hey, have you heard the new Spiritual Cramp? And I said, I love it. And you said, yes. I think you said you love it too. Did you say that, Mike? You love it too?
I do love it too. Yes.
Excellent.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah, it's really good. And I know why you love it. And I'm going to get to that. But this is their sophomore album. They have a bunch of EPs, but just 2 full lengths. Follow up to their debut full length, Television, in 2018. Spiritual Crap describes their lyrical themes as hate for the police, the government, the status quo. They describe their sound as borrowed from past echoes of the late 70s, early 80s, working class, rock, and punk. And who does that sound like? Maybe just your favorite band of all time.
Motley Crue? No, I'm just kidding.
Sorry, I forgot about the Crew.
Yeah, it's very Clash. Like, to me, they have like why can't I think of the name? But Mick Jones's band after Planet Bad. BAD? Planet B. Why can't I think of that? My brain's not working. Anyway, Mick Jones's band after the Clash reminds me a lot of Spiritual Crap, but Spiritual Crap is like gazillion times better.
A gazillion. I don't know that that's an actual number, Mike.
That's probably a bold statement.
I would say definite nods to the Clash, but like with a contemporary sound. It's got catchy melodies, hooky choruses, a garage rock feel with a big sound that you can dance to. I think this is going to be on the list towards the end of the year.
Big Audio Dynamite's the band name. I just clicked in my head.
So you weren't listening to me at all. You were thinking. You were deep in thought.
That's how it always is when I'm talking to you. Haven't you noticed?
Right. I have noticed, but this is the first time you've owned up to it.
Okay.
My second offering tonight is a band called Swimmers. Sonic Tonic is the new record. Have you listened to this one, Mike?
I have not. I liked Swimmers a lot. Then the whole controversy came up, so I kind of didn't really want to check it out. But I'm pretty sure that guy's not in the band anymore, so I think it's okay.
He is not in the band anymore. That's true. They removed him from the band. The band has actually shuffled the lineup once more. I feel like they've done this a few times in their, I don't want to say short life, but in their life. This is their 3rd full-length album. The founders and songwriters and brothers, Max and Cole Becker, have added their other brother. Do you know they had another brother?
I didn't. They're like the
they
Jonas
have
Brothers
another
now?
brother. Yeah.
Or
They're the
Hanson?
Becker brothers.
They kind of have a Hanson look.
They're older now, Mike. They've shed their Hanson look. Okay. The other brother is Cade, and he's been added to the mix as the bass player. Cade was always interested in being in the band, but never played an instrument. Kind of like you, Mike.
Ouch.
You're like the Cade of this podcast. Why did that hurt? You never played an instrument.
I know.
That's a fact.
It's because I suck.
No, but it's not about sucking. He never did it. And then when they were looking for a new bass player, Cade said, well, I could do that. And Max taught him the instrument. So there you go. Cade's in the band. I feel like this album feels a lot more in line with their first album, Drive North, which I really enjoyed when it came out. You and I went and saw them, actually.
Yeah, that was a fun show. I loved that album. Again, I really actually liked the band. It was just the whole controversy. And I mean, sometimes I don't back down from stuff like that. I'm a little stubborn.
Don't back down. You're the Tom Petty of not backing down.
I'm stubborn is what it is. But I will check it out just based on your recommendation.
Yeah, I really like it.
Because I really did like the first album. And they were awesome live.
Yeah, great live. Lots of fun. It was a great show. Even though they felt like they could have been like, I don't want to say like our kids, but like they felt very young.
They were playing like D&D upstairs in the patio before the game.
They were.
Yeah.
But I just remember thinking like how young these guys were and like how great the music that they were making was. And I did feel like they were offering something new, something different. With that first album, Drive North, I feel like this is kind of in line with that same vibe. This album is full of songs that are catchy as hell and point to youthful exuberance. I do recommend Swimmers, Sonic Tonic. Next one, going down to Australia, Mike. Have you heard the new Clowns record, Endless, Mike?
I have not, but I did get a text from our buddy Justin yesterday saying to check it out. So
yeah, I really, really like this. And I think you would really, really like this too. The cover art, I don't know if you've seen the cover art, but
I did like the cover art.
okay. Screams Mike.
Yeah.
The cover art for the album, for those of you who haven't seen it, really does say it all. Picture a skeleton with wings, dressed in a 70s glam outfit, playing a guitar while lightning strikes around it and police officers point their guns at it. This is a punk rock album with metal leanings for sure. I've never really given a ton of listening time to this band, and this album has got me coming back again and again.
Nate, just a quick question. Is it like eclectic? Because I found like with their other stuff, there'd be like some stuff would sound a certain way, other stuff would be like completely different. Like, is it more one genre this time, or is it like all over the place?
Yeah, no, like I definitely feel like there's a diversity to this record. It's not like one note. It doesn't all sound the same. But that said, I do feel like it's an album that was crafted to be an album, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's something I didn't like about other stuff of theirs. But
okay.
But that'll be good that if it's crafted towards an album then.
Yeah. So like the songs, like they bleed into one another. There's definite like kind of, I don't know, like tonal shifts kind of within the album as well. And then it's all capped off by an 8.5 minute song or story of true crime. Huh. So as described by the band, true crime and punk rock meet for the first time as the anonymous host of Case File podcast narrates a true crime tale while Clowns plays a spaghetti western soundscape in the background.
I wish people could see my face right now.
I mean, love it or hate it, I've never heard of anything like this before, and I love hearing new things. So,
got to be inventive these days. I respect
absolutely.
it.
I was stoked on the singles that led up to the release of Endless, and I would say the album lives up to that hype for sure. Last one. One more.
I'm ready.
Making Friends is the band. Fine Dying is the album. I think this is this band's first full length. It's a 4-piece outfit from Brighton's UK DIY punk scene. It's fast, it's catchy, riffy, chuggy, 90s skate punk vibe. Winks and nods to bands like NoFX and No Use for a Name. Super enjoyable listen. Do recommend.
Nice. That's on Cat's Claw, right? Maybe? Did I make that up?
I don't know. I think it sounds made up.
Okay.
Yeah, it sounds made up, Mike. It could be, though. I mean, you might have hit that one.
You can edit it out if I'm wrong.
All right.
Or leave it in there if I'm right. One of the two. Leave it in there if I'm wrong. Whatever you want to do. Whatever makes you feel good.
All right. If it feels good, do it.
You know what makes me feel good, Nate? Listening to music.
Yeah, tell me about the music you've been listening to.
All right, Nate. The first is Citizen and their new album, Calling the Dogs. To be honest, I never really gave this band a chance before. It's like one of those bands you heard about a lot. And like I would see their name mentioned, but I sort of lumped them in with like the defend pop punk crowd for some reason, and like hardcore bands that resonated with like people that were 20 years old and not my age. So I didn't check them out. And that's kind of a shitty thing on my part. I just missed the boat on those chunk of bands. But for some reason, I decided to give Calling the Dogs a chance. And I was super wrong about this band. I'm super into this album. I've been listening to it nonstop. And it's kind of funny because reading some reviews when I was getting prepped for today's episode, it seemed like the fan base is torn on this album. So maybe that's why I like it so much. But it's got a lot of catchy hooks, great lyrics, and all the tones are right up my alley. So check it out if you're looking for something new or old, but I guess it's new. Do you like Citizen?
You know what? They were the headlining band for that Prince Daddy and the Hyena tour that came through. So Prince Daddy and the Hyena were on tour with Citizen.
Mm-hmm.
And I listened to an album or two and it just didn't catch me. And so I actually just didn't watch the headliner that night. We just went home super early.
That's fair. Like, I feel like this is a shift just from what I'm reading. So you might like this album more.
All right. Well, I will give it a shot.
All right. This next album is an album I actually think you might really dig. I've been saving it for the episode to tell you about it. So, because I like to give you little gifts here and there. The band is Drip Fed. Have you heard of them before?
No, never heard of Drip Fed.
They're from Austin, Texas. I can't remember how I came across this EP, but the day I listened to it, it just hit the spot. Because I was just having such a shitty week, and it's just the right blend of hardcore, metal, punk, and melody. There's lots of Bronx sound to it. So if you like the Bronx, I suggest checking them out. And the album is called Leap for the Fountain.
Drip Fed. It sounds torturous.
It sounds torturous.
Sounds like how they feed the human centipede. That was the first thought that came into my mind.
Yeah, no, yeah, there's none of that, I don't think.
Okay.
Although the art on the front is like kind of could give that impression too, maybe. I don't know.
There you go.
Next is Territories and the album Colder Now. If you've listened to this podcast over the years, I've mentioned my love for Territories and Knucklehead quite a few times. Colder Now is their latest release, and it would be a shame if I didn't give it a shout out to some local heroes. But local bias aside, this might be their best work. I can't get enough of the album. It's just great with lots of hooks and songs you want to sing along to. Make sure you check them out. And the last album I've been listening to is a band called Dead All Right, and the album is Dancing Through the End of Days. This is a project from the singer of Brand New Lungs, which is a band I don't know very well. Do you know Brand New Lungs?
Like the name sounds familiar, but I couldn't tell you a song.
Yeah, like that's exactly what I felt like when I was reading about this album. I was like, I know that name, but I don't know the band.
Yeah.
Anyway, Dead All Right is has a very late 90s, early 2000 melodic punk sound. So if you're looking for a throwback to bands of that ilk, I recommend checking it out. It has been a bit since a band with this sound caught my attention as much as this album has, so give it a whirl. And that's what I've been listening to.
That's your list of listening to songs and albums.
That it was.
Yeah. On to the list, Mike.
I can't wait to hear what you came up with for your fall list, Nate.
Well, wait no longer, Mike. Here it comes.
That's
Here
what
comes
she said.
Track 1. I don't think you can say that anymore.
No, I don't think I can.
No.
Are you going to cancel me?
You're canceled.
All right.
What's a better fall song than a song about grieving summer, Mike?
I don't know. That sounds pretty fall-like.
Wishing for one more day or month of summer? I found a good amount of songs referencing those last days of summer. And one of my favorites of those songs is a brand new single that just came out called Another Day in the Sun by the Travoltas on a single. And they've actually given this single a title. And I don't know how I feel about that. Can you title singles?
I don't know.
And they called it Split. So
But it's not a split?
It's not a split. It's both their songs. It's an A-B. So maybe that's what they're referencing, like a side A, a side B. I don't know. But, you know, I'll allow it for titling EPs, obviously titling full lengths, but titling a single, I've not heard of that yet.
I can't say
it's the first time.
I can't say I have either.
The Travoltas are a Ramones core band, really catchy. This song starts out with a line that says, "Outside was pretty dark today," which is that sad and indicative switch from summer to fall. Just like you mentioned earlier, Mike, when you drive to and from work in the dark.
Ugh.
Yeah. Ugh, indeed. Indeed. This song, however, is not about the ugh. It's about bucking fall. It's about reminiscing, holding on, holding fall off, giving summer one or two last breaths. And this song, all with a vibe of a summer road trip. And it's even got 2 Beach Boys references for good measure, Mike.
Oh, and you love
That's how you know.
You love a good Beach Boys reference.
I do. There you have it. The Travoltas, with just breathing a couple more breaths into summer, another day in the sun.
All right, Nate. So I'm pretty sure I've brought up shorebirds on the podcast before.
Oh, yes, you have.
But if you're new, a quick refresher. Shorebirds come from the Reviver family tree. It features Maddie of Reviver, Latterman, and a chunk of other bands, and Chris from Jawbreaker. And I can't really recall if the drummer was in another band or not, but he's also there. Anyway, Shorebirds put out this great album called It's Gonna Get Ugly, and I believe an EP and a 7-inch, and then disappeared into bands like Reviver. Originally, this list was all sad, sappy emo stuff, but I figured I should put something else in here so people didn't get mad at me.
Who was going to get mad at you, Mike? I'm curious, who was the person that was going to get mad?
The voice inside my head, Nate. The voice inside my head.
Okay.
The one that just
not real
the one that was
people.
screwing up right now. Anyway, I thought I need to balance out some of the sad, sappy emo stuff, and I was going to pick a more punk rocky song, and this one is the first one that came to mind. I mean, it has autumn right in the title, so that's kind of a signal.
That's how you know it's an autumn song,
yeah.
Mike. That's how you know.
The band is Shorebirds. The song is Olympia Autumn Morning. And aside from the title, the feeling of angst and loneliness that comes with fall and creeping winter is captured in the lyrics, and that really hits for me. And the lyric is, "It's hard living alone when the world's so cold. The world's so cold you can feel it in your bones. I just want to go home." And that's what fall and winter feels like to me all the time. Even if you're surrounded by awesome people, it feels lonely and cold. And sometimes I just want to go home to my bed and zone out.
Home is a very overarching theme, I think, within the fall autumnal songs as well.
Yeah, I think because you're like looking, you know what's coming, right? Like, even if you're in a warmer climate, you know winter's coming. So you're ready. That hibernation thing's kicking in. Like, you know, you're going to spend some time at home watching TV or reading or listening to music or whatever the fuck you do at home by yourself. And
it's a retreat, Mike. It's a retreat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is Shorebirds, you said it was pre-Reviver?
Yeah, it's pre-Reviver.
Pre.
It's after Latterman, before Reviver, and I think before Mutoid Man. There's one band's Mutoid Men and one band's Mutoid Man. And one's like a weird metally band, and one is Maddie and the guy from the Chris from Jawbreaker and somebody else too. So that family tree's weird and good.
Yeah. And you know a lot about it. And that's why I asked the question. And I'm glad I did, because I learned something here today too. Another day in the sun, the Travoltas and
Shorebirds, Olympia Autumn Morning.
Outside was pretty dark today, and it seems so long ago.
Now we're rolling.
We are rolling. You feel it?
I feel it.
Do you feel the autumnal roll, Mike?
I feel it in my bones, Nate.
I like saying autumnal. It's hard.
I was going to say, that's a really tough word to say, and I'm impressed with how many times you've said it without screwing up.
Well, I have to keep saying it to be able to say it, Mike. If I don't say it over and over and over again, it becomes very hard, and I have to
could you do it in a French accent for me?
No, definitely
come
not.
on.
We've
Come
done that,
on.
Mike. That ship has sailed. That ship has sailed.
I'm lonely. It's cold.
This next song, Mike, comes off of an album by a band. And I would say that album has been referenced and played over many times during the 93 episodes we've been doing this podcast. I'd say at least half of that album has been referenced or played on this podcast, which really just proves what an all-timer this album is. And I searched through all the show notes, the correct ones and the wrong ones.
Did you notice I fixed it?
I didn't. I didn't even go look, Mike. I don't expect that. It's done. It's done twice. Like, who's going to look at that now? But I searched through all the show notes, and although many songs have been played, this one has not. Not yet, at least, Mike. The song is My Sweet Fracture. The album is Through Being Cool, and the band is Saves the Day. And I would say this album is actually a really great fall album as a whole, and maybe a great representative to that early emo sound that for some reason, like we were talking earlier, just hits a little harder at this time of year.
It's funny. This is the first album, one of the first albums that came to mind for this episode.
And did you pick a song from it?
I did not.
You did not?
No.
Was this the song that came to mind, or just this album came to mind?
The album, for some reason, I just associate with fall. I don't know if it's just the cover art, maybe even too, and just, I mean, the feel of it too. But this is the song I would have picked maybe after, because I think there's an actual fall reference in the song, if I recall correctly.
There is a fall reference in the song, and I'll let you listen and dig for it. But I think the message of this song is about keeping something alive that is clearly dying. It speaks to the fact that no matter how pretty things are or were, no matter what you do, they're meant to die. Which is very, very much of the fall theme, Mike.
That's very fall for sure.
It's super, super fall. It's real fall, Mike.
The next band I picked is a band I featured a few times on this podcast already. The band is the Paperbacks. The album is an episode of Sparrows, and the song is If I Make It Through This Winter. Now, I know what you're going to say, Mike. This is about fall, not winter. And we clearly discussed not picking a winter song, right? But really, this song always comes to mind as it starts getting cold and dreary outside. I start thinking about how long and cold it's going to be this winter. And I think, man, I hope I can make it through this winter. This really makes me wonder why I live in a place as cold as Calgary. Anyway, self-pity aside, the Paperbacks in general are a solid listen when the air gets crisp and you're thinking about sweaters and dark nights. And plus they're from Winnipeg. That's just like fall dreariness to a T, right? That's what you associate with Winnipeg.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like no matter what season it is, it's just more extreme. So in summer, it's hotter than it could ever be here. And in winter, it's colder than it could ever be here.
And nothing comfortable. Their summer is hot and muggy.
Yeah.
And mosquito ridden.
Yeah. But they do have succinct seasons, which is more than what I can say for this city.
That's fair. I'll give them that. For some reason, the Paperbacks are just one of those bands, again, I just associate with fall. It's probably like the sadness in their music. But that's all I really have to say about that.
It is interesting that you attribute so much sadness to fall when like everyone around you is like, it's fall, la, 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 la. Like you are Charlie Brown. You are Charlie Brown in real life.
You're not the first person to say that to me.
Really?
No.
I think you should start saying good grief a lot more.
Yeah, it sounds too lame. I need an I need an updated version of Good Grief.
Grief good?
Sure.
My Sweet Fracture saves the day through being cool, and
the Paperbacks, If I Make It Through This Winter.
Could you tell me the next time that you're choking, run right over to shove some dirt right down your throat? Nothing I have against you. You're just a creep and you can't remember the last 5 years. Once upon try to stay afloat in shallow water. Rather forget the days we spent. Try to stay afloat in. Rather forget the days we spent. Try to stay afloat in shallow water. Rather forget the days we spent. Try to stay afloat in. Rather forget the days we spent. Try to stay afloat in shallow water. Rather forget the days we spent. Try to stay afloat in. Rather forget the days we spent. Try to stay safe. Fishing for my keys outside of your front door. In the diesel dark slush of a cold November night, the rumble of the wind absorbs every passing sound. But somehow you got me believing in a silence that's not born of solitude, but from compassion left just holding its breath. But gravity won't fail to make its presence felt, or to wage war on unmedicated sleep. Its merciless advance nudges me aside to the sharp nape of a snowdrift. But if I make it through this winter, if I make it through this winter, if I make it through this winter, I think I'll be okay. The few remaining birds, they leap from leafless trees, were circling above us, and you know their patterns are so strict, they seem etched into the sky. Oh, you squawking, soaring heralds of impenetrable darkness all day long, and of the chemicals that set with every sun. So while drivers skid to stops and take down license plates, the patience worn and weathered as their skills, my own nerves bend and fray, branches glazed with ice, till I see you trudging with me. But if I make it through this winter, if I make it through this winter, if I make it through this winter, I think I'll be okay.
Okay, so 1 and 2, very different songs so far.
Yeah.
Very different songs. Number 3, I'm going to come at it from yet another perspective, Mike.
Go for it.
Another window looking into fall. Okay? The separate window. Open the curtains, looking through. This next song is
So
about
you're a peeping Tom?
No, that's not what's happening here.
You're talking about opening people's windows and looking through it.
This is a metaphor, Mike. This is a metaphor for the perspectives of fall.
Okay.
All right.
Whatever gets you off.
Come on back, Mike. Come on back. This next song is about a festival. Okay? It's a love letter to a festival. Okay? It's a festival that takes place on the last weekend of October every year, which I may remind you is right in the middle of fall, Mike.
Okay.
Any thoughts on what this festival could be?
Well, I'm assuming it's fest, unless it's about Halloween.
You are correct, Mike.
Halloween?
If I had a little ding sound, I would ding it right now, but I don't. This show can't afford dings.
No, we can afford that kind of.
Bings, but only through sponsorship. But I can't believe I missed this song the first time around. 10 years ago, Mike, I went and actually got to watch the band that plays this love letter to Fest at Fest, to a room full of festers, which was pretty cool. So the song is Gainesville. The band is Dillinger 4 off the album Civil War. And the chorus states, "It feels like summer in October, and I hope this day is never over," which should really be the motto for Fest, I think.
I wouldn't know because I have Fest envy. I'm never going.
You have Fest envy, but you could go. Are you
Could.
too old? Is that? I feel like the bands that play Fest are not like they're of our demographic.
Yeah, I don't think it's an age thing. I think it's like Mike not willing to commit to things thing.
I think you should go, Mike.
One day I may.
You can't say one day. You won't go one day. You have to commit to going sometime. Like actually say that time. I think you should go.
Are they from Gainesville? No, right?
I don't think so. I feel like they're a Boston band, maybe. Or
I really don't know.
What's that area called? Is that the Pacific Northeast? What do they call that area? Like under New York? I'm always very confused by how where those states are in that area. I swear to God, every time I look at a map of the US, I'm like, really, that's where that is? Huh. Like I can't retain it.
I think it's just the Northeast.
Just the Northeast. Oh, I guess it wouldn't be the Pacific North, the Atlantic Northeast, maybe.
Definitely wouldn't be the Pacific.
Definitely not. The ocean doesn't go that far. Yeah.
That could be your big problem with figuring out where things are.
So Boston's not on the Pacific?
Not that I know of.
No. Okay.
But maybe in one of these new Alberta textbooks, it will be.
It's a good save. I appreciate it, Mike. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So there's a couple of bands or albums I automatically associate with fall because they just capture the mood. For some reason, Knapsack and their whole family tree of bands have always done that for me. And maybe none more than the album Day 3 of My New Life. This is probably going to date me a little bit, but at the time when this came out, I had a CD changer in my car that I shared with my sister, and we would head to university together. And it got stuck in there, and we listened to it for a lot during that fall driving to school. So this album just always reminds me of that little period of time. That on top of the overall sound of the album is just like very fall-like, and even the album like colors on the artwork and that kind of stuff, it just feels like fall. And one of the songs that has always hit really hard for me is the song Boxing Gloves, and there was no pun intended with that hit reference. Do you like Knapsack?
I feel like they're one of those bands that if I heard songs, I'd be like, oh yeah, Didn't know that this band played those songs. But I couldn't. Yeah, I never got real immersed into Knapsack.
Yeah, they were one of the first bands when I started shifting away from like standard like Fat Records punk. So they've always just kind of held a spot for me. They've played Fest, I think, once, right?
I think I might have even been there for
at that
it,
fest?
to be honest with you. I can't say for sure, but maybe.
I know they re-released all their albums on vinyl this last little while too.
Yeah, I felt like that was signaling like a reunion of sorts.
Yeah, maybe. I have no idea. I don't know. I can't keep track of stuff like
So
this.
you're not that into Knapsack then. You're probably just like me.
I'm more of a backpack kind of guy.
Right. I could tell that by looking at you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like a 1 liter kind of guy. Like a 1 liter backpack. Like a fanny pack backpack 1 liter. That's kind of the guy you are, I think, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
You're so mean.
Why is that mean? I don't think that's mean. That's just looking at it and going, yeah, that's what I think that guy's into.
Fanny packs?
Well, like fanny packs are like, they're back, Mike.
Yeah, I know they're back. But
people love them. People love a fanny pack. I'm actually a little surprised you don't have a fanny pack. Do you have a fanny pack?
Is it the Euro thing? Because I know they're big in Europe.
Like the shoulder, over the shoulder fanny pack.
I don't have one of those, Nathan.
All right.
Come on.
Dude, I can see it. It's
You
not
would have
being
one
mean.
before.
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah, I'd see you doing that. Going on
Really?
a hike with one.
No, I don't have one either.
Yeah.
I am surprised, though. I am surprised.
No,
that,
I don't have one.
Huh. Well, Christmas is coming, Mike.
Don't buy me a fanny pack, Nate.
Gainesville, Dillinger 4, and?
Knapsack, boxing gloves.
And I know that's bad for our image, but I don't give a damn.
I'm living summertime. I gotta think about the dark clouds. I'm just basking in wasted. We're moving way too slow. Let's go, cause we're not getting any younger. Time doesn't wait for me. Time is wasted. We're moving way too slow. Let's go before we're old. Time doesn't wait for me. Time is wasted. We're moving way too slow. Let's go before we're old. Time doesn't wait for me. Just because I was the one born with boxing gloves and I'll collide on your side. And look what we found under bridges, underground. Sensation was feeling its way around. Save your own skin. A fish who lost his fins. A fight that he never wins. Fell out of love. Was betrayed from above. Your pride was not safe like you thought that it was. So well behaved. This would soon change. Somehow sensation is learning your name.
My next two picks, Mike, I gave a little wink and a nod to these at the beginning of the podcast because they're pop punk bands.
Nice.
Because as we know, the pop punk, or as discussed, I should say, the pop punk hits a little harder, hits a little different in the fall season, right?
It sure does, Nate.
Sure does.
Sure does.
So I don't listen to this band that much. But the ones that I do listen to, or the albums that I have listened to, I really like. And this song is from one of those albums. I think there's two that I go back to with this band. Anyways, this song is from one of those albums. And this song's title was ultimately what flagged it to me for this episode. But the song more points to winter, as you previously discussed and were allowed. So I'm going to say
Mine was not. It was not a winter song. It said preparing for winter, which is what fall is sort of about.
All right. Well, it's not sort of about it. It is about it. Right? It is, Mike. It is. But it's an auto allow because like fall here, especially like the mid to late stages of fall are like many others winters. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, like 100%.
We just get colder way faster here. And so I think when somebody's talking about like the early stages of winter, that's like the warm parts of fall for us, you know? Yeah. Not this year, but in general. In general. I think the picture that gets painted from this song feels more like fall to me anyways. The song is called Hoodie Weather. And the band is called The Wonder Years, and it comes from the album Suburbia. I've given you all, and now I'm nothing. I feel like, are you a Wonder Years guy, Mike? You like The Wonder Years?
I do now. I didn't originally. Again, I kind of similar to my comments about Citizen. It's just a band I didn't try to even listen to.
Yeah.
I just didn't feel like it was for me, like just because I was a little bit older. But I went like years ago, I went back and listened to them, and I really do like them. But again, with that pop, like that kind of pop punk, I'm like a 4-song person. It's like the whole album's good, but 4 songs is all I need, and then I'm out.
Right.
But Hoodie Weather is a phenomenal song.
Yeah, the thing I really like about this song is that it listens like a great like coming of age movie. You know, like a sad but great coming of age movie. And there's a story in this song, and it's all set to the backdrop of dropping temperatures, dying leaves, and a looming of winter. And I really like the story that's embedded into this song.
He's a really good lyricist, like with both Wonder Years and the solo stuff, like just great storytelling.
I don't think I've listened to the solo stuff, Mike.
Oh, you should, Nate. Very good. I will. I'll send some your way later on.
Is it under his name, or is it a?
There is one under his name, and then there's one under a band.
Ooh, I'm not going to put you on the spot.
No,
I'm not going to put you on the spot and ask, Mike.
No, I will send it to you, and it's. I might have played one once on the podcast, but it's very good.
Excellent.
Oh, this works out perfect because mine is also a great storyteller.
Perfect.
The band is the Weaker Thans.
Excellent.
The album is Left and Leaving. And
Love
Left and
it.
Leaving is just my must listen to whenever this time of year comes around. It's funny because I think the first time I actually listened to the album, it was a warm summer day. But it always just becomes synonymous with fall for me. Maybe the artwork on the album, maybe it's the lyrics or just the melancholic nature of the band. But when I'm in that, I'm feeling sorry for myself, Charlie Brown stage of fall, it just eases the blow a little bit more. I could really pick almost any song off this album or probably any of their albums, but I went with Pamphleteer because it really emphasizes that melancholy feel for me.
Is this a repeater, Mike?
No, it's not. I looked.
It's not a repeater.
It's not.
All right.
But I have used Left and Leaving quite a bit.
Excellent. Yeah, I'd say this and Fallow definitely have that autumn look.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think a lot of the Weaker Than stuff and John K. Sampson's stuff very much leans into that kind of feeling of
Manitoba.
Yeah. You might have something there, Mike. You might have something there. Hoodie Weather, The Wonder Years, and
The Weaker Thans, Pamphleteer.
Problems with thoughts, so you can't recall what I Racing rush hour, faces turned around. I clutch my stack of paper, press one to a chest, then watch it swoop, stutter to the ground. I'm weary with right angles, abbreviated daylight, waiting for a winter to be done. Why do I still see you in every mirrored window, in all that I could never overcome? How I don't know what I should do with my hands when I talk to you. How you don't know where you should look, so you look at my hands. How movements rise and then dissolve, melted by our shallow breath. How causes dance away from me. I am your pamphleteer. I walk this room in time to the beat of the Gestetner. Contemplate my next communique. The rhetoric and treason of saying that I'll miss you, of saying, hey, well, maybe you should stay. Sing, oh, what force on earth could be weaker than the feeble strength of one like me, remembering the way it could have been. So help me with this barricade. No surrender, no defeat. A specter's haunting Albert Street. I am your pamphleteer. I'm your pamphleteer. I am your pamphleteer.
Well, thanks to everyone who's been listening to the podcast. Thank you for the great comments and nice things you have all said to us. If you enjoy listening to us babble about music and make fun of each other, make sure you tell a friend or two to listen to us, because that really goes a long way. You can also leave a nice note or comment. It really warms our hearts that anyone cares enough to listen to us talk about music we love. Thank you to the WhatsApp group for always being there and for adding to this podcast and becoming awesome friends with us. Thank you to my amazing friend and co-host Nathan for making us sound excellent. After doing last episode, I appreciate you even that much more for making us sound so respectable. You can find us on highfives.ca or on Instagram, Threads, probably Facebook. We're on most streaming services. If you're listening to this right now, you probably figured that out already. If you want to send in a list for an episode, we love getting them and posting them. So please feel free to reach out and send them in to us. I think this is the last episode of the year before our year-end extravaganza. I'm not sure if Nate's going to partake in this year's year-end episode.
You don't invite
Never
me.
know.
You don't. Let me just preface that by saying that was sure nice, Mike. And let me take a moment to tell you that you too are appreciated. All right.
Well, thank you, Nathan.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. All right.
I do feel appreciated.
Good. Now back to the backhanded compliments.
Wow.
What were you saying?
I asked you if you were going to partake in the year-end extravaganza.
Well, not if you're going to yell. I'm definitely not going to do it if you're going to yell.
I'll yell when I want to yell.
Okay, so
last episode gave me a lot of power.
Yeah, I can hear that. I hear it in your voice. So you said you asked if I was going to participate.
Yes.
And I said, well, I didn't say anything. I said something nice to you. But now I'm going to say you don't invite me to do it. And it's 30 songs. That's 60 songs, Mike. That's too many songs. That's too many. That's way beyond the threshold. So I just kind of, I slink out of the room because I don't want to make you breakfast, first of all. And then second of all, I don't want to be a contributor to 60 songs.
And I don't think really anybody wants to listen to 60 songs.
No, you got to scale
or 30 songs.
You got to scale it down.
Or 30 songs, but I can't help myself.
So that's the way it goes. If you scale it down, I will join you. But if you do 30, it's too many.
We'll talk.
All right, we'll talk. Mike's going to do 30 songs and I'm going to submit 5 and we'll put those out into the into the socials.
Yeah, that's the plan, I think. And stick around even if you don't listen to that last extravaganza episode because you don't want to hear 30 songs that I picked. Next season, we're working on something a little new, so no more revisiting the first season. We're not going to pick up on the second season and redo that again.
Oh, man. I had some really good picks for those.
We'll have to put our thinking caps on.
Starting anew, that whole thing I said at the beginning.
Oh, it's the whole season's just called Starting Anew.
Yeah.
Every episode's Starting Anew.
Exactly. I was just I was trying to push people in one direction so that when it came in a different direction, they'd be extra surprised. But now you've ruined it. So that's cool.
Anyway, we really hope you stick around. And like I said, thank you again so much for listening. We really do appreciate it. And on to your last pick, Nate.
All right. My last pick. Well, this one's definitely a fall song because it's called Home for Fall. Do you know that song?
It's not ringing a bell.
All right. Well, I'll tell you who it's by in just a second. But when we do these topics, occasionally I will start with the Bing. I will input into the Bing.
Well, you got to use Bing.
Yeah.
What are you going to use? Ask Jeeves? Google? No, it's Bing.
Yeah.
It's always Bing.
Always Bing every time. And I search the topic out and, see if there's some things that jump out to me straight away. The one band that kept reappearing over and over again was Real Friends.
That's funny because I did do a quick search and I was like, I'd never heard this band Real Friends before, but it popped up every single time and everything that was for fall. So
Oh, really? You'd never heard of Real Friends before?
I think I heard the name, but I never checked them out.
I would have thought this was up your alley, Mike. Well, yeah, it's one band that kept reappearing over and over. And I do listen to this band. And one blogger wrote, it's fall. I guess it's time to listen to Real Friends. And it doesn't have to just be Real Friends, but that genre of pop punk just sounds better in the fall. The messages seem to be more profound. The spring and all the love that was in the air is devastated now. Everything around you is fading. And so, I mean, that points to a lot of kind of what we've discussed here tonight under this episode's topic. This song definitely fits. It really leans into the missing, which, looking back on all of these songs, is a very prominent theme as well. I would say that it kind of leans back into like that Wonder Years vibe as well, just in terms of not only the musical style, but also, that storytelling piece.
Cool. I'm very curious what this sounds like, because I did keep seeing Real Friends, and I honestly, like, I don't know what I thought they were like Simple Planny, but like, or like 4 Year Strong kind of stuff.
Right. Yeah, fair enough.
Which I don't have anything against. I don't have anything against. Again, I think it was like I was saying with the Citizen thing. I just, at a time, I felt like maybe that wasn't what I was looking for, or I felt like I had aged out of it. But now I like a lot more of that stuff again. So midlife crisis and all.
Going backwards.
Yeah. So this last pick was tough, like always, but I went through so many songs that I wanted to use. A part of me really wanted to use Death Cab or Postal Service, because those bands kind of resonate with me in this kind of weather and feeling, and there's some emotional ties to it. I kind of feel like fall is a lot of times where maybe I'm really sappy because as a kid, I feel like I had a lot of breakups in fall. Did you have a lot of breakups in fall?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know. Something about that. And then I was like, wow, I got to pick one of those Midwest emo staples for this, because, like, again, fall Midwest emo. And I'm glad you picked Saves the Day, because that's one of the ones I was leaning towards. And so I was just sitting there, and I put a whole chunk of albums into a thing and bands, and then hit shuffle, and I'm sitting there listening, and American Football's cover of Fade Into You came on. And I was like, oh, this is it. This is perfect. So, and American Football really are the bar for emo bands that capture that fall feel. I mean, they have a song called The Summer Ends. So they were really just the perfect band for this last part. The song also features Maya Follick, who's an indie rock artist and is really catchy and fun. So if you're into that, you should check her out. If you like the original Mazzy Star version, I can't see why you wouldn't like this. And it's kind of funny, because for some reason the Mazzy Star version always kind of like signaled like a romantic kind of thing to me, or like makeouts or something. I'm not sure. Maybe it was like the time it came out. I feel like maybe it was like a makeout jam when I was like 15 or something, or 14. Maybe I made that up. But the American Football version's just a little bit sadder, a little bit more mellow. And it reminds me of walking home in the dark after a long night out, and you can feel how cold the fall air is and how quiet it is outside, even if there's people around, because everyone's just wanting to get home.
American Football is such, like, just as a band, is such a good choice for this episode. And Mike, would you believe that the last lyric, like, I'm going to point it out because I don't want anyone to miss it, but the last lyric, and I don't know what it is verbatim, but is something to the effect of, and maybe next time you're around, we could listen to American Football like we used to.
Really?
I shit you not.
That's perfect.
Right?
We're simpatico on this.
Home for Fall, Real Friends, and
American Football, Fade Into You. Thanks for listening. Stay cool and be excellent to each other.
So much has changed back home since you left without packing all your things. I always drive past your house, hoping you'll be sitting on your porch, and I still smell the smoke on your clothes, and I can still hear those secondhand stories fall off your tongue. It's just not the same around here without you. Most of the time, I feel like you're in over your head out there. You went away from the Midwest and traded it in for beaches and East Coast sunsets. Don't take in too much too soon. Keep your chin up out there. Don't forget where you across my driveway, and we could listen to American football or talk about high school, just like we did the years before. I wanna hold the hand inside you. I wanna take the breath that's true. I look to you and I see nothing. I look to you to see the truth. Live your life, go in shadow. You'll come apart and you'll go black. Kind of net to your darkness. Colors your eyes with what's not there. Fade into you.
And I would say at least half of this. Okay, let me start that over.
I was like, did it freeze?
I didn't write it right. Now I'm trying to figure out how to do it in my head. Okay. So this next band, I would say at least half of the album that this next song is from has been referenced or played. No, I didn't say it right again. All right, let me try it. Let's go number 3.
You got this, Nate.
All right.
I have the tiger.
Yeah. Dan, 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 dan. Let's just take a moment. Dan, dan, dan. Dan, 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 dan. Bang it. Dan, 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 dan. Bang it. Dan, 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 dan. Rising up.
This is why I love doing the podcast with you.
This is it. This is why.
This is it.